Hey girls, I hope you've grabbed your low density frontal from the Crown collection. The link is in the bio below. Today we are constructing a frontal wig. At home, baby, at home. Okay, so we're gonna use a canvas blockhead. I measure my head, I'm about a 22-inch, so that's what I have. I'm gonna use a spandex dome cap, but this one is ventilated, so it's a lot more breathable, and I'm gonna just put that on top of my canvas head. Now I'm gonna start with a mistake because I want you girls to see what a lot of people have been doing, and it kind of makes it ill-fitted and it doesn't work. It doesn't look as good. Okay, now what you don't want to do is put the frontal exactly on the edge of the cap, but we'll revisit that in a second. I'm just going to cut off this excess lace because we don't need it. Alright, now that we've got this lace out the way, let's start with a mistake. This is what most people do the first time. We're going to sew the side of the lace and line it up. I mean, it's only right. You want it to mimic a hairline, so you're going to think, let me just lay this flat against the line on the cap. We're going to sew the side of the lace. That's just what you do. It looks right, but it's wrong, and I'm going to show you girls why in a second. Once you're done sewing both sides, you're going to see in the back of the frontal you have all of this space. It's not laying flat. It is just sticking off. What the heck is going on? So I'm going to stitch it so you girls can see exactly why this won't work. Once you part inside the frontal, you're gonna have all these ridges and lumps, and it's not gonna be flush. You might get away with the elastic band in the front, but you're not gonna be able to part this and get those flawless looks like everyone else. So this is what we want to avoid. We don't want to stitch there. We want to stitch on that ribbon. That ribbon is there for a reason. It is our guide. So now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna pull the frontal a little ways in front of the cap, and we're gonna start sewing where that ribbon starts. So it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like your frontal's way too in front. It's not gonna look like a natural shape. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like Frankenstein's baby, but that's what we want. You guys can see how flush this frontal is now. It's almost sewing itself. So if this is not a $1 million trick, I don't know what else is, but it's been trial and error for me, going to classes, getting ripped off at classes, and just trying to figure things out for myself. And I'm just sharing with you guys what I've learned. And I'm going to be using nylon thread to stitch this frontal down. I'm using a cross stitch, which is really firm and secure. And I stitch fast, but I make sure that I stitch in an upward motion so I don't actually snag my canvas head and stick the wig to the canvas head while stitching. A good way to know where your frontal should sit in front of your cap is to braid your hair straight back in the same way you would if you're going to put the wig on. Put the cap on top of your head and see where you'd want the frontal to sit, and you can use a measuring tape or your finger and just see where that placement should be. I kind of just know where my frontal is going to sit, so that's why it's easier for me. I'm going to do these two little braids to get it out the way. It's okay if this is loose and floppy. We're going to cut this whole section off. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be using 3 bundles of our straight hair. It will be available soon. It's not available yet, but anyway, I'm gonna stitch going back and forth until I get to the top, and then I'm gonna go across. So it's pretty simple. You've definitely seen this method on YouTube. It's nothing wrong with stitching this way. Honestly, you can stitch any way you want. You just don't want to double or triple too much when you get to the top, because it'll give you a really nice and lumpy look. You know, if that's what you're going for, then it's cool. But yeah, try to keep your stitching as flat and neat as possible, and just keep going. I'm using the fold over method, and I think that's about it. Enjoy the music. No, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. This hair is blue. It is midnight blue, and if you girls want me to upload a tutorial on this, I have it filmed. I don't know if you would be interested, so I didn't put it up. But if you want me to upload a video on how I achieve this midnight blue color on my frontal and bundles, thumbs up this video and I'll get on it. I'm on like an editing I don't even know, editing streak. So let's get it going. But I'm still stitching. I'm gonna keep going. This process probably takes me about half an hour in total. It depends on how many bundles you got, how thick the wefts are, you know, if they fold over easy. They're pretty decent wefts, but they fold over really nice. So it's really not that hard for me, you know? So I'm just gonna keep going. Just keep sewing, just keep sewing. Once I get to the top, I start sewing straight across. Now, this really doesn't matter with the 13x6 because the frontal stops so far back, but the method is really important when you're using a smaller frontal because you don't want that lump in the back. But yeah, you're pretty safe like if you double and triple with a 13x6 because the frontal stops like in the middle of your head. So yeah, just keep stitching. I'm gonna finish it off and make sure that I marry that last track with the edge of the frontal. Alright, so now we're done stitching. Our 3 bundles are installed. That ponytail is looking flaky. Now it's time to cut the excess cap off the bottom of the frontal. Now you want to be really careful with this because we're going to use this piece, so don't just go hacking it up, okay? And make sure you don't cut too close because if you cut your thread, it's just annoying to try to repair a frontal wig. So just be easy, alright? Now you girls can see the frontal, you know, it's laying a little bit better. You girls can better see how this is gonna lay on you. So Pocahontas braids out, and now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that excess piece. Alright, so now we're gonna flip this baby inside out. It is looking so good. Okay, so I want you to imagine that the cap is still on. You'll see where the line would continue. That piece is going to be the flap that's going to be over your ear. So this is going to help us with the band placement. Now I don't use regular elastic bands anymore because they do pull your hair out. I use the band that's attached to the cap instead because it's lined with that fabric so it's not going to snag. So this is going to help with our placement. We're going to put this elastic band exactly where the cap would stop. So if you kind of like draw with your finger from the back of the cap to the front of the frontal, I'm sewing directly under where that would be because that's going to sit right behind my ears. It's really hard to explain so much like via video, but I'm trying to be as detailed as possible. But I'm just going to do a really nice stitch. I double stitch this band because we use it a lot and you don't want to like puncture the lace. So double, triple stitch if you want, and repeat on both sides. So I think this is the most important piece of information. That piece of lace underneath this band is the lace that we're going to cut off. This is the question that I get asked most frequently. And yes, you do cut your lace. It is okay to cut your lace, ladies. The lace was not made because they think that we have 13 inches worth of hairline on our heads. They just have to make sure that they allow enough lace, you know, depending on the size of the client's head. So it is okay to cut your lace. The answer is yes. I hope this video was helpful. You girls can see in this clip that I did cut it in a U shape, and that's because it sits perfectly on top of the ear and the band is going to go behind the ear as well. And in that U shape, it kind of gives you that little wispy look in front of your ear that everyone loves, but it also gives you a nice flush look behind the ear. So if you do pull it up, it is flawless. So don't be afraid to cut that lace, ladies. Do not be afraid. If you're afraid, put it on your head and see where it stops above your ear, mark it, and then cut it that way. So I hope this video is helpful. Like this video, thumbs up this video. You girls can see it fits perfectly on my ear. So just try the wig on. It's okay. And practice makes perfect. I hope you girls enjoyed. Be sure to watch the video on how I customized this lace and how I installed it. I'll list everything in the description below. Love you girls. Time to get some sleep. Bye.